नमस्ते एभ्रिबडी। आज यस भिडियोमा कक्षा 12 को विद्यार्थीले कम्पल्सरी इङ्ग्लिसमा अध्ययन गर्नुपर्ने एस्से ह्युमिलिटीको टेक्स्ट बुक क्वेसनको आन्सरहरू लिएर उपस्थित भएको छु। अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ द टेक्स्ट सेक्सन, अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ द टेक्स्ट भन्ने यो सेक्सनमा सर्ट क्वेसन आन्सरहरू राखिएको छ। डिस्क्राइब द क्लेम अफ द चाइनिज नेसनलिस्ट अबाउट द ह्युमन हिस्ट्री। चाइनिज नेसनलिस्टहरूले मानव इतिहासको बारेमा, सभ्यताको बारेमा कस्ता कुराहरू दाबी गरेका छन्। द चाइनिज क्लेम्स द्याट द ह्युमन हिस्ट्री बिगिन्स विथ द येलो इम्पेरर एन्ड जिया एन्ड स्याङ डाइनेस्टिज। देयरफोर whatever Westerner, Muslims or Indians achieved is only a pale copy of original Chinese breakthroughs. In other words, they claim that they are the center of the world. Question number B. What do pious Muslims believe about the human history? Pious मुस्लिमहरूले ह्युमन हिस्ट्री, मानव इतिहास वा सभ्यताको विषयमा के कुरामा विश्वास गर्छन्, बिलिभ गर्छन्। Pious Muslims regard all history prior to the Prophet Muhammad as largely irrelevant, and they consider all history after the revelation of the Quran to revolve around the Muslim Ummah. The term Ummah is Arabic meaning community, अथवा युमाहाको मिनिङ चाहिँ अरेबिकमा कम्युनिटी भन्ने हुन्छ। In this way, Muslims believe that they are superior to all in the universe. Question number C. What did the Aztecs firmly believe about the universe? Aztecsहरूले युनिभर्सका बारेमा के कुरामा विश्वास गर्छन्? The Aztecs firmly believed that without the sacrifices they performed each year, the sun would not rise and the entire universe would disintegrate. They believed that the existence of the universe depended on their rituals. Thus, they claim that they are the center of the world. What, according to the essay, are the universal human abilities? यो एस्सेमा प्रस्तुत गरे अनुसार युनिभर्सल ह्युमन एबिलिटिज भनेर कुन कुन कुरालाई जनाउँछ अथवा के युनिभर्सल ह्युमन एबिलिटिजहरू के हुन्? According to the essay, morality, art, spirituality, and creativity are universal human abilities embedded in our DNA. These qualities are universal meaning species specific, common to all humans, but not religion or tribe specific. Question number C. How are the basic yoga postures derived from the shape of the letters of the Hebrew alphabet? Basic yoga posture अथवा योगाका आधारभूत आसनहरू कसरी हिब्रू अल्फाबेटमा भएका लेटरहरूको सेपबाट विकसित भएका हुन्, विकास गरिएका हुन् भनेर यहाँ चाहिँ यो एस्सेमा भनिएको छ। The basic yoga postures are derived from the shape of the letter of the Hebrew alphabet. यो चाहिँ एउटा इजरायली टिचरले भनेका हुन्। The Trikonasana posture imitates the shape of the Hebrew letter Aleph, the first letter of Hebrew. Tuladanda imitates the letter Delt, etc. Tuladanda Asana is a Sanskrit word in which Tula means balance and Danda means stick and Asana means pose. Thus, Tuladanda Asana is an advanced balancing pose which requires stability, focus and core strength. Reference to the context section मा long questionहरु राखिएको छ। How do Hindu nationalists refute, prove false the Chinese claim that human history really began with the Yellow Emperor and the Jia and Shang dynasties? Who do you agree with and why? चाइनिजहरूले जुन दाबी गरेका छन् ह्युमन हिस्ट्री येलो इम्पेरर, जिया एन्ड स्याङ डाइनेस्टिजबाट सुरु भएको हो भनेर त्यसलाई हिन्दू नेसनलिस्टहरूले कसरी गलत हो भनेर प्रमाणित गरेका छन् र तपाईँ कोसँग सहमत हुनुहुन्छ किन? Hindu nationalists refute the Chinese claim that human history really began with the Yellow Emperor and the Jia and Shang dynasties. Chinese nationalists claim that The human history began with the Yellow Emperor and Jia and Shang dynasties. That whatever Westerner, Muslims, or Indians achieved is only a pale copy of original Chinese breakthroughs. On the contrary, Hindu nativists dismiss the Chinese boast and argue that even airplanes and nuclear bombs were invented by ancient sages in the Indian subcontinent long before Confucius or Plato, not to mention Einstein and the Wright brothers. The author presents the claim of Hindu nationalists that it was Maharishi Bhardwaj who invented rockets and aeroplanes, that Vishwamitra not only invented but also used missiles, that Acharya Kanad was the father of atomic theory, and that the Mahabharata accurately describes nuclear weapons. These claims seem to be true to some extent, as some Indian researchers and writers claimed that Maharishi Bhardwaj had narrated guidelines for making aircraft. There are some books like Brihat Biman Shastra and Biman Samhita for plane making, and so on. Additionally, some Hindu texts include the description of Puspaka Biman used by Ravan, taken from Kuber, and nuclear weapons invented by ancient Indian sages. Such descriptions make many people believe the superiority of Hindu civilization and the claims on it. To sum up, no claims are true, as they all are merely imaginative. Even nations or the religion claims for the credit to new invention or achievement. To me, both of these claims combine a willful ignorance of history with more than a hint of racism. Moreover, the followers of those claims are blind supporters. Such claims are self-important narratives. As the author of this essay suggests, the world is like a hot air balloon inflated by their own tribes. Question number B. The author had dealt with a controversial debate on human history. उनले ह्युमन हिस्ट्रीको बारेमा कन्ट्रोभर्सियल डिबेटहरू यहाँ प्रस्तुत गरेका छन्। एकले अर्कालाई नमान्ने खालका, एकले अर्कासँग बाजिएका विचारहरू यहाँ प्रस्तुत गरिएको छ। Why do you think history has been a major contested issue in the present world? र अहिले यो हिस्ट्री, ह्युमन हिस्ट्री किन एउटा कन्टेस्टेड इस्युको रूपमा, मुद्दाको रूपमा प्रेजेन्ट डे वर्ल्डमा प्रस्तुत भएको छ अथवा आएको छ, विकसित भएको छ? The author had dealt with a controversial debate on human history. For example, many Greeks believe that history began with Homer, Sophocles, and Plato. Chinese nationalists believe that human history began with the Yellow Emperor and the Jia and Shang dynasties. Hindu nativists argue that even airplanes and nuclear bombs were invented by ancient sages in the Indian subcontinent long before Confucius or Plato, not to mention Einstein and the Wright brothers, and so on. Every religion has its own beliefs about the history of humanity. I think history has been a major contested issue in the present day world due to humans' feelings of superiority. Most people tend to believe they are the center of the world and their culture is the linchpin of human society. People make such claims because they are egoistic. Almost all the religions or nations think that they are the most important thing. They quickly claim credit for their new achievements and inventions. People having affinity with them are genuinely convinced of such ridiculous claims. To sum up, history has been a major contested issue in the present world because of humans' tendency of taking themselves as the center of the world. The trend of making self-important narratives has given birth to a controversial debate on human history. Therefore, the author calls the world a hot air balloon inflated by their tribes. Author claims since it is more polite to criticize one's own people than to criticize foreigners. क्लेम यहाँ के छ भने अरू विदेशीहरूको आलोचना गर्नुभन्दा पहिले आलोचना गर्नु। We agree to his claim, उनको भनाइमा। Yes, I absolutely agree with the author. It is more polite to criticize one's own people than to criticize foreigners. This statement indicates the ignorance and illusion that have blinded people regarding the history of human civilization. As the author suggests, our own claim on the human history is also false. This claim signifies that no one in the world is able to give objective claim on human civilization. Another most important message is that transformation, progress, and improvement should be started from us or from our own family or country. Harari, being himself a polite and civilized person, criticizes his own people to illustrate people's ignorance, ego, and illusion of superiority and mastery on human civilization. Being irritated with people's willful ignorance of history, he gives example of Judaism to illustrate how ludicrous such self-important narratives are, and argues that it is more polite to criticize one's own people than to criticize foreigners. To be less critical to others and more conscious to the self is one of the major ethics of a learned man. He is aware of the fact that foreigners can easily be irritated in case a scholar from aligned religion criticizes or points out their weaknesses. Being an impartial scholar, he discusses a universal issue waiting to be corrected for the virtue of humanity.